Hello and welcome to the new Fringe Podcast. Today marks the second day of recording, and today marks the day when I went home very, very, very drunk. You see, I'm obviously doing these voiceovers after the show, well, a week after the show was recorded. So on next we have David and Lewis, who are basically two rappers from the area, but they obviously, like all the guests, do a lot more. There seems to be this common theme in the area that as well as being an artist, people are also doing something what's helping the community, but also doing something in the terms of, well, just working an everyday job. So David and Lewis are no different. Two extremely talented rappers. We was absolutely blown away with the music they played off air, which we sadly can't show yet because it hasn't been released. David and Lewis are also friends with David Clough, who was on episode 5, the one before. He also comes back into this episode later on. I invite him to come and sit next to me so we can see how the dynamic works, as he's sort of the music producer. He comes up with all the samples and the beats for these guys to work off of. They make a great trio, and they also make a great pair. We learn a bit about Journey and the approach to modern teaching, which is something that was very interesting to me. And this is probably the one where we have the most fun, because obviously as a host you have to be quite serious but also willing to go informal, but this is the one where I was allowed to be serious, but then I was also allowed to let my head down, and I felt completely comfortable. I think this one has a really good natured vibe to it. I think it's pretty cutting edge, and I think you'll enjoy this one. So without further ado, enjoy. Yeah, please. I'll pour these whiskies out. Are we going for like a long pour or like a short?
Give me a long pour.
Long pour. You going for it?
Let it last a little bit.
Has this moved, or am I drunk?
What are you doing?
Is that where it was?
What do you think you're doing, man?
I thought it moved.
Don't get too close to me.
Right, that's pretty long.
That'll do me nicely.
I'll have a short. This is a sipper as well. It's like 16.5%.
What is it?
Tonic wine.
Now, what's his real name?
Magnum.
Magnum.
So do a cheers.
Cheers, mate.
It's gonna be a fun one.
It'll be a
Cheers.
good one, boys.
Right, so where have you boys actually come from today?
But we were just chilling. It is just now. But
Yeah.
Where were we at before?
We're in a journey, yeah. So been doing teaching all morning.
I'm still learning about Journey. Like I don't. Is it because there's Doncapolitan, there's Journey, there's Doncaster Crates, there's New Fringe.
We're all connected though. You know what I mean?
But do you think there's gonna be any fights like higher up? Because this is the thing, right? There's Doncaster Cast. People are trying to get like a film program started there, but there's negotiating problems.
I've not even heard anything about it, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I heard.
So you guys are like clean your side.
Yeah.
There's no like.
Everyone's working good together. on
No,
that side.
it's not like actual problems. It's just like a few tensions. What you hear, how people aren't. Because the biggest problem was like an artist would leave the area and come back to the area and either boast or just pick the area clean of ideas.
Right.
And I think a few people felt like people were doing that, so it's created like a tensions higher up.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, but I feel like even if you do go out, if you come back, and if you are giving back, I mean, yeah, obviously some people should be boasting about the way that they're doing things, but if you're coming back and giving back to the community again, I feel like people should get behind it. I don't feel like if you're trying to do anything in our town, I feel like everyone should be trying to build it up. Either find a way to like talk to the person, like to say to them, there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Or we just need to find a way to build off of that. Either find that and let that be motivation, or, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's collaboration. It always comes down to collaboration. I think like when these people are coming back, I think it should be less of a boasting thing and more of a how can I help the people from where I'm from? Do you know what I mean? Like they should be coming back and sort of saying, how can I get everyone involved so we can all move forward and come up with new ideas and collaborate more? Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if same with you guys, but like me and Peter, we came to actually love this place. Like we left. Well, I left like end of like 2 years ago, and I never really associate myself with Doncaster. I just associate myself with like English. I'm not really from anywhere. I'm just like working, and I absolutely came to love like the people here.
Yeah,
Like when you're growing up and you're walking through like the bus stations, all these characters, you're a bit like, you know, what are you guys playing at? And then
it's a special place.
You see some stuff like you see some stuff.
Yeah.
What's the craziest shit you've ever seen?
I think what did we see earlier?
What?
When we was on the bus and we were literally just coming through Bulby then earlier, and literally every single like glass pane in the bus stop had just been smashed through. And it's just standard, isn't it? Like, it's just a standard thing.
That's a daily thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's just like constantly things like that, or like going down Bulby Road on a bus once on the way to school, and there was like 6 people on one little bike, like motorbike, like just loads of kids on the back.
That's like something you see in India, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
I was just thinking like, what? It's just mad.
This is what's really interesting about it. It's like a middle class guy, quite a high paid job. He said to me when he was younger, he smashed a bus stop up, and he was trying to tell me this to be cool, and I was like, is that really cool now? Is that?
It's a mad way of thinking going on around here. To be fair, like, there's mad thought processes around. To be fair,
I think one weird thing about Doncaster, everyone like from Doncaster is always so proud of where they're from in Donny, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, they're all like, I'm always like Bulby massive. Like,
No, do you know why that's true, right? This guy come from like this little village called Mizzen, and this guy did like a vlog on Mizzen. I thought it was shit, right? So I messaged him saying, I'll come back and I'll give you like a proper guided tour. Yeah. And when he absolutely blanked me. So now I'm thinking, should I do my own video on like Mizzen to like represent?
Represent me, why not? Like, you get one of each little town, people would love that, because people just love like being where they're from, innit?
Well, it's a big place, isn't it, really? Like, I keep thinking it's just like the town centre or like where I'm from, but it goes out far, doesn't it?
Yeah, Doncaster might be like the biggest town in England, actually, isn't it? Like,
I think my postcode, because our postcode goes out to like Scunthorpe.
yeah, it goes to Cleethorpes.
Yeah, so it's massive. Like DN postcode, DN massive, mate. Every time, it's sick.
All right, so you guys have got an album coming out. I know that.
Yeah, we have. Like,
yeah, we have.
Yeah, we've been working on it with
David, who you just had on.
I've listened to one of the songs. Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you rate it.
Which one was it?
Juice.
Oh yeah, that's your favourite.
Yeah. No, it's been a long one because we kind of had a similar thing to you. As like I moved away for a bit.
Yeah.
I was living in New Zealand, and then like we started talking then, and started like collaborating because by the time we got back, we started making a few songs and met David.
Yeah.
We released our first album, which was a bit generic. Like it was.
Yeah, we just like chucked a few YouTube beats.
Yeah,
chucked some lyrics onto it. He wrote something to it. He sent it to me, and then it's vice versa. We just kept doing that.
But do you like it? Because I always think like an artist's first stuff, when you look back, it's kind of the best in like a way. Cause it's like raw, isn't it?
I love it. Like
still got a special place in the heart.
Yeah, for sure. But I think this one that we've done now, because we had David, it was more of like an influence of like us. It was more us because it was like the beats were made in a DN postcode.
Yeah.
Everything was just made by us.
Yeah, recorded it all in my house. He made all the beats that is, so it was all done in house.
And like a lot of the collaboration at my flat as well. Like it was just nice how it made it. It was much more natural than the first one was.
Yeah.
Because we were just kind of even some of the songs we wrote with each other, like in the present with each other. So it was like a really good process getting it all done.
There's something happening though, isn't it? Because like you guys talking about like a snowball effect earlier.
Yeah.
Like this is just honestly happened with like a click of a finger. Like a click of like a click your finger there. But when I came back, cause I live in like Leeds sort of area, and I came back worrying. Cause I could basically no longer pay the rent for what happened through COVID. So I came back. I was like, all right, what am I gonna do in the area now? And there's so much shit happening. And it feels like we're here now. Like, cause it actually come out this morning. Like, I've just like moved back in my parents, so my room's an absolute tip, and I'm just like, I'm slightly a little hungover from yesterday's podcast, and it's a bit of like a thing to get up and get out, but when you actually get out, shit's happening.
Like shit done, it feels special because there's a lot of people trying to get shit done as well. Because when you see other people trying to do stuff, you just like, it just gives you that energy to keep going like a bit harder as well.
Yeah. It's like that health competition thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And it's like it seems like everyone's seeming to get to the same conclusion of like we need to work together, we need to like do stuff so everyone can move forward or like build a scene rather than trying to find one that's not there. If you know what I mean? We're like everyone's trying to proactively create platform or create a foundation for other creatives as well themselves.
I think the thing with that now is like, you say if you go to Liverpool, Manchester, London, the scene's already created, so you can't do anything with it. And like,
you can just try and sneak in and do your little thing, and then go back. That's what you can really do, isn't it?
yeah.
But we've got that opportunity to like just build something from the start, so we can do basically what we want with it.
Well, it's all new as well, isn't it? Like we can do anything really.
Exactly. We can make what we want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like this podcast. I was like thinking, right, I don't want to just do that generic part. We've got to allow drinking.
Yeah.
We've got, smoking bans just being passed today. Like that's been lifted.
Yeah.
All right, we should go back to Journey. Like what is happening? No, because it seems like there's so much happening. Like Doncapolitan, it's just like a magazine, and like Doncaster Crates, they're doing quite a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
But right, what would be the breakdown?
So
like what?
Journey, basically, the way I've been describing, it's like Angela Cousins is the one that owns it.
Yeah.
And she'll probably tell you more about the story, but she basically just started her own school because she didn't like how schools were doing things. So
It's just like across the board education, like how they're doing things.
Yeah,
or like
she didn't. From her words, she didn't like the system and how it works around the children. So Journey's basically like an alternative education centre.
Yeah.
So they do GCSE, A levels and stuff, and private tuition. But the things that we're a part of is like the half-term workshops. We'll do songwriting, production, and then in term time we do advanced provisional, which is kids that they can't be in mainstream schooling or.
Is this for like medical reasons, or is this just because?
Yeah, so for like mental health and things like that, they can't be in mainstream or even just things that have happened. So they can't be in mainstream schooling, and it's just not for them. So Journey's like an alternative way to help them reach personal goals or academic goals in a like safer environment. So like a mainstream school caps of a class is like 35 children, whereas ours is like 4 or 5. And I just think it's just such a safe space for them to be confident and actually like nurture their personalities in the way 100%. They learn, so we can get them back into mainstream and make them be able to sort of function while they're there and then get on with their lives in a more confident way.
I think that's actually phenomenal, because when I was at school, I did okay. I did like average. People say I could have done better, but I don't understand with you guys. But like, there was no like system in place for how I worked. Because I've been like diagnosed with borderline ADHD now, and when I look back at my school, that was the reason why. Like I couldn't focus. I've also got like insomnia, so I slept at like 2 a.m. and then school was like 7, and I go in, I'm like tired. I'm also not really interested in what like I'm being taught.
Yeah, that's a big problem as well. Like there's so much stuff in school that everyone don't really care about it. There's a lot of stuff that it doesn't matter in the long. Like some things do matter in the long run. Like I'd say, business classes might be helpful.
Yeah.
I think obviously maths and English they're the most important things. But there's things that don't get even taught for just the basic things in life.
I think the thing with schooling is like it is important because it helps with competency. Obviously, for people that are looking for employment or they are looking to pursue careers and stuff, it doesn't. Whether you don't learn some of the stuff or not, it helps with competency. The problem is with it that it's not across the board. It doesn't help everyone with competency because other people need to learn in different ways. Everyone knows that now, but it's still not really changed how it's done enough to encompass all the different ways that people do learn.
Is this like a private thing though, or can anybody sort of join?
So it's a lot of different things to be fair. So there's some like private tuition, so they'll do one-to-one tutoring, things like that. The AP classes, a lot of kids get on programs with like the council, I think, or through like their care, they get on programs to come to Journey. But they do have different ways that you can get scholarships and get into it, without having to pay. But like the workshops and stuff, they're paid. It's like basically summer camps and that for kids. But so they've got loads of different options. I think Angela will be the best to like describe.
Best to plug in.
Yeah, she knows like all the ins and outs of it. Obviously, she's built it, so.
Big up to Angela. She's amazing.
Is she got the brainchild like in charge of like?
Yeah, it's just her and Sasha as well. Like both their energies.
Yeah,
We
they're the
just
most
think-
important people there.
Yeah, and I
Is this just happening in this area, or is there like more of these
so
happening?
they've opened,
Yeah,
I
they're
think
opening
they've
hubs in
Lincolnshire.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the next one they're opening is in Lincolnshire, so they are trying to grow it, and it's growing quite well because it proves to be so valuable to the kids. Like we've seen some massive changes in the ways that some of the children have just like the way they're carrying themselves.
Yeah.
It
Day
changes
by
like
day,
yeah,
literally,
it
just
changes like that.
day.
It's crazy.
No, I really wish this was around when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
To be
I
fair,
think
do you think it's like a bit of like you want to give back to like a younger generation as well? Because like me and Peter, we're gonna go back to Doncaster College and teach some workshops,
Yeah.
and we're absolutely fascinated by like the students what are coming through now. Because we sort of see their struggles. Because when me and Peter
Yeah.
were coming through on the scene, there was nothing. There was nowhere to show our films.
Mm-hmm.
Like we used to just hang around Doncaster Market and would like go to like a record shop,
Yeah.
not record shop, like a record pop up, and we'd just like buy records and talk about records, and that to us was like our place to hang out.
Yeah.
There was nothing else.
That was essentially the biggest fringe.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about I can't remember which one. I'm still learning which one's David and Lewis. Right. I was talking about like going to Asda with Peter. Like
Yeah.
that's our hangout spot.
Yeah, I remember you
Like
mentioning
yeah.
that.
That's where we go to like hang out, and that's weird. Because like there's like in Manchester and Liverpool they're not talking about going to Asda and hanging out.
Yeah,
But we're walking around Asda just talking about film and talking about that's like our thing.
Yeah.
Is it like the same like your guys growing up like
yeah, it's similar. Like for me, obviously we didn't really speak when we was young, so for me it was just like grow up and we would just like skate or just chilling in car parks or like just random benches and stuff. We didn't really have like a place that we'd go to, and like everyone would congregate. There wasn't even a youth club. I don't think by the time I was like 11, 12.
Yeah.
So there was just nowhere to go. So it was just kind of a
Yeah, we
Sit.
literally just like went about, dusted the streets, played some football, and literally just until literally like little kids until we were about, I'd say about 15, 16, and then everyone just like goes away. I don't
Yeah.
even know what we're doing now because there's nowhere to go. There's no shelter, so it's like if it's getting cold and like raining and that, you are not going anywhere.
unless you're going out drinking. Unless you're going out drinking.
But now, yeah, that's all we're doing
What,
now.
yeah,
Now
unless you're going out drinking to the pub, like what is there to actually do?
But are you guys into that? Or, like I sort
David is, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I'll have a few drinks.
But what are you talking about? Are you talking like
I'm
are you
not
talking
big
like
on drinking.
pub or like a club or like
Pub more than anything. I do love going to the club as well, but pub, I love being in a pub with mates. It's honestly one of the best things.
I agree with that. It's more social, isn't it?
I don't mind a pint with my mates and that, but I'm not a massive drinker. Like I'll have a few, but I'm not huge.
Yeah, club. Like never clubs. I sort of like I can't do anymore. But like
I went to Donny Strip once with Aaron. And I hated
Silver Street.
Oh yeah, Donny's not the best place to go out for a night out. I'm not gonna lie to you. It needs to get better. I think it's getting better. There's some nice clubs opening up.
They've done it up a bit with the road and stuff, but even clubs like I just don't like the whole idea of like, blind yourself with lights and
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
breaking your ears.
See, I think like if you're out with the right people and like anywhere can be a good
That's
time.
right.
If
Yeah.
you're with the right crowd and with the right people, like you can always have a good time. But yeah,
Have you guys been lucky finding people? Like
Yeah,
I mean-
I've been lucky with the people I've got around. To be fair.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I think all the people that I've grown up with and that, like David, that you just had on, I grew up with his little brother,
yeah.
and we like having people like that around has been one of the best things. To be fair, I think I wouldn't have got to the point mentally that I am if it wasn't for having those friends around. Like, because just having loyal mates is like
Most
best thing
important,
you can have. You know what I mean?
Well, you guys sort of met like a parallel to me and Peter, because me and Peter met at college.
Yeah, I was telling David. Yeah.
Like you guys met.
We live like 5 minutes away, but we've never met.
Yeah, we never met, but we would go to all the same places when we was a kid. So there had to be like a period where it was like a crossover point, and
the universe.
yeah, like a cameo. Because everybody's like sort of like the center of their own universe, aren't they?
Yeah.
And like yeah, and like we had to have met. Like we had to. But you guys met sixth form, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's first time.
Yeah, that's probably the first time. I feel like I've known about you before though, but yeah. I think the first time that we actually.
And we didn't even really speak in sixth form. I
it
think
was until after school when we both.
I went to like one of your parties or something at Halloween.
Yeah.
I was near the stairs when the carpet came up.
Oh, bro.
I was like about to run downstairs, and then I just seen someone fall down the stairs, and the carpet just came up like a slide.
Who did that?
That's the
This girl that was in the year below, Bro.
She literally just running down the stairs and slipped and the carpet just pulled all of it. Just come up.
How's that even possible?
Do you know?
Bro. Oh. And then the same party, this girl came running down into the front room and she just slammed the door. Where's my bag? Where's my bag? I was like, what? Almost took it off the hinges. I swear to God. It was literally like there was a crack in the hinges.
Did like a mirror fall or something as well? Or like
I mean, I can't remember it, but it's probably not.
Is it like one of those things where you wake up and you got to triply try and fix the house? Like you're working out to...
That was like I say, we didn't even speak, so I long got like a bullet.
Oh man, that was a mad night. Oh, I had some bad nights at my party, but yeah. There was a long gone behind me, I'm not gonna lie. I don't need to.
But yeah, we didn't even speak in sixth form, and then it was like only after you was releasing some music, and I've released like 1 or 2 songs, so we were just talking.
But did you both know this was happening, or you both just like?
So we knew that it was happening. We'd had like the odd convo, and then it was only really when I was in New Zealand. So I was at the other side of the world when we actually started speaking.
Can you imagine?
We literally were like 12,000 miles apart when we actually started having like conversations and started collaborating.
There's something strange about that because me and Peter, not in a bad way, but would sometimes fall out through like disagreements, and then.
I always like to think how odd it is because if we met as kids, we would not fucking like.
No, we were complete like polar opposite as like.
Like you'd probably bully me for being that fucking little skinny.
No,
like,
every thinks I'd be like that jock football player, but I was nice.
Well,
I was nice.
You'd be on the edges of the bullies.
Yeah, I'll probably be the guy in the back, like just
Just kind of stood there waiting.
Yeah, a fencer.
Yeah. Just play along with it, but yeah.
So, right, you got Journey, you've got an album, and you've got the marketplace as well. What's happening in the marketplace? Because you guys are describing it, and it's really I can't work out quite what it is.
So,
like we describe
It's an art exhibition, so to be honest, this is more your baby than mine, I'm not gonna lie to you.
So basically, we've been wanting to do something with MAM, Market Asset Management, the people that run the market for ages now. We was gonna do something like the year COVID started and kept pushing back with all the lockdowns. So we're still trying to get a show sorted at the Wall Market, but obviously with Art Bomb going on, the new Fringe are putting together with Doncaster Crates. We wanted, like as GSD, we wanted to put something towards Art Bomb and like give a contribution. So we thought of things we could do for ages, and then we thought about let's do an art exhibition and get some artists in because we're not painters ourselves.
Because initially we wanted to do a show at the Wall Market, but it was just a load of.
What sort of show are we talking? Like
we
wanted like a show with like varied artists.
Yeah, for like from about 12. Well, that we probably are still gonna do that one day, like, but right now we put to the back. But we want to do like a full day where we've just got different artists, different genres, getting up on the stage because they've redone up the stage at Walmart. Have you seen it recently?
Yeah,
it looks nice. So we wanted to get down there eventually, and
we wanted to get like a comedian on.
We wanted to like host it.
Yeah, we wanted to get H on as well. Like, so we had lots of plans, but we're still just waiting on that. So we thought we'll do the art exhibition, and try and do like a bit of a crossover GSD and get some painters in because none of us are artists in that sense. So our plan is to sort of create little artist environments. So the artists that do put their work out there or exhibit their work, they're able to just exhibit it in any way that they want in these little hubs.
Yeah, this is what I was hearing. I'm trying to work this out how it's going to look.
Yeah, so we want to create like little hubs we're doing it with Doncaster College, so we're trying to build, so the artists can just display it however they want, so they can have like a jungle theme or whatever they are inspired by, and present their work in that scene. And we want to have like plinths, so like little stands throughout the exhibition hall.
Yeah.
And on these stands there'll be little QR codes or some digital, so people can be sent to a landing page. And then on that page there'll be like text or audio or video that the artist has put on there. So it'll be about what they're inspired by or why they did it or the things that make them want to do what they do and why they do it. Just so people that go in can have watch a video accompanied with the art, listen to audio, and they can get a real feel for like what the artist wanted. You know what I mean? So rather than just looking at the art, they can hear from the artist what it's supposed to be, why it is what it is. In that sense, we feel that like visitors can get more immersed with the local artists and get more of a feel of like the passion that goes into what's going on.
Because it's there, isn't it? It's like physical.
Exactly, and then they can see like the actual passion rather than just seeing art, which is beautiful itself. They can actually see why it's done, and I feel like that gives them a better connection to it. It's more relevant.
Yeah, it gives them context.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that'll just make people want to be more involved in the art scene in Doncaster. So we think that it'll be quite beneficial to that. It's just we're just still organising everything and securing funding and things like that. So
The fascinating thing is now how like Doncaster Market used to, I know a lot of people still champion Doncaster Market, like the old version.
yeah,
'Cause a lot of people are going to still, they don't want things to change. They want to keep it exactly. And then the new Wall Market, like with the restaurants and stuff like
it's beautiful, isn't it? I love it.
That's a proper hangout space now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they're trying to do, because we work with David Shaw, who does the marketing there. We communicate with him quite a lot, and he's the one that's helped us sort all this out. And he's saying they want to make it like a little cultural hub again, and I think stuff like little projects like that, trying to make that a cultural hub, is going to be what gives value to people like us trying to do what we're doing. I think it's integral, like what they're trying to do. Because it's been the Corn Exchange, for people that don't know, it's got a massive history. Like, I couldn't say it off the top of my head because I'll probably butcher it, but it's got a huge history on like just the people that performed there. Like, it was a music venue at one point. It's been massive, and then all of a sudden it's just nothing. Like, no one cares. If you say the Corn Exchange, people are like, where? And you're like, oh, that place in the market. They're like, oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's so many buildings.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Honestly,
It's
beautiful.
Even when you say the market, people don't think of the Connection, they think of the Wall Market. It's like, no, the cool building.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Actually,
building.
amazing. You can,
It's
it's
like
really beautiful.
it's
Like, there
big
could be some
arch.
shows on in there.
Yeah, it's massive and
Very
arch.
sort of Victorian.
Kind of,
something
yeah, that's it.
Very
Something like
Something
that.
like that.
Built in 1896. to be specific.
1896.
1896.
There you go. That is Queen Victoria. I think she died in like early 1900s. So.
It's on, if you ever look at top, it says up there 1896.
I had no clue.
Do you want to grab a chair and jump on? Go on. Go on, get this in. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
Get on.
But yeah,
no voice in the corner.
Get your face in.
Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, it's just such a beautiful space.
That's good sound nice, isn't it?
I mean, like, it keeps going in my eye line. I feel like I'm gonna have some awkward eye contact with it.
It's not even recording, I just want to put you on.
It's like you're at a bar and you're talking to a girl and you're just looking like.
You're just making awkward eye contact with everyone watching.
But no, that's good because there is so many, like this space here. I never knew existed, and then it's here, isn't it? And it's got like a proper artist feel. This place, like there's like.
I love this table.
Makes you want to come and create, honestly.
This-
Makes you just want to.
I said to him as I could live here.
Yeah,
I could literally
say
just
it.
put me a mattress in that fucking corner and I'll just stay here and just make stuff all day.
I'm out of the sleeping bag on top of these paintings.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
I don't think they'd appreciate it.
yeah I was just gonna say.
All right, the angle on the camera. Can we pick it up?
I can get you, I can't get David.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah,
Shit.
just there, but do you want me to
Yeah.
change it?
Shift it a little. So we get David.
Alright, well.
But yeah, so we're just excited. Like, I think I wake up most days now. I wake up and I'm just thinking, what's happening? Like, I'm just ready to.
You guys have got a lot of stuff going. Are you right keeping on top of everything? Or
Kind of. So yeah, it's kind of sometimes.
Yeah. So I work at TK Maxx as well. Like, I do security at TK Maxx as well. So
on top of the journey, on top of like
yeah.
man.
And just doing the music and
Amazing.
that. So it can be a lot sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's all worth it. Like, we know what we're building for, and we've all got a common goal. Like, I'm good, thank you. We've all got a common goal.
Sovereign draw. It was on the soft side.
I would have bought sterling, but about £10 somewhere, so I didn't.
As
But
got
yeah,
like
I think the beautiful thing is that we've all got that common goal. So the reason that we've got so much confidence and like we think that everyone's going to get to the point we want to is because everyone's got that common goal. Like, everyone that we've spoke to wants Doncaster to succeed. They want the people around them to succeed, and that's like I think that's the fuel.
My mom's gonna see this. She's gonna be fuming.
me too. Yes, for my smoke.
She knows, but she's never seen it.
I think they all know, don't they?
Oh,
Deep
yeah.
down.
I've never seen it.
She's
I used to be
never-
like that with
never
my
seen
mum.
it.
She knew, but I just never did it. in front
Every
of
time
her.
she knocks on the door.
Yeah. even now, like I'll still pretend that I'm not smoking.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
those windows going to mess the audio up?
Nah, it'll be okay.
Is that alright?
Nice bit of background. Bit of
The light.
ambiance.
Yeah.
Live, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
I'll be honest,
Would you mind
yeah.
squeezing in one?
Yeah, of course.
We might have to talk a bit closer to the mic, maybe. With the windows open.
Yeah, sound. But yeah, so I want to know a bit about the film.
The film I showed.
The film you showed, and also like the scene that you guys are trying to put together.
Well, the thing is, right? Those films I showed are 3 years old.
Oh,
like
wow.
that's me. But the kind of I've done a feature film now, but it's a lot harder to show an audience a feature film because I need 90 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
So I sort of show my old films just so you can get a general.
No, I get that.
But I keep adapting. Like what this is why I said to Sasha, like the film what I showed isn't really what I'm working on now.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you mean.
But yeah, the idea is we want to create a film program. So we want, like, when students leave college, we want them to be able to show the work somewhere.
Yeah, because there's nothing.
There isn't.
There's nothing here. Yeah, there's just not, and we want to see. I'd love to see more of your works. I think it was Coffee
Coffee
Break?
Club, yeah. Coffee Club.
That's it.
Yeah.
Coffee Club that we got to see.
I hadn't even seen any of your stuff, and I should have.
Yeah, you want.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the thing. Everybody always gets on to me like, why don't you have social media? Why? But the thing is, I'm playing it from a different angle.
Exactly.
Like, I'm going for film. I'm not a social media presence. Let's get that thing straight. I'm playing for film festivals. I'm not really trying to you guys are musicians, so you guys would play that angle.
Yeah, of course.
But
Exactly.
I'm sort of trying to
Well,
build.
I think we're not great at it either.
Nah, the social media side of things.
But no,
Is it because you just don't know what to say? Or
I
just...
don't really care.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly saying.
No, say it.
Just, I don't really care about it.
Yeah.
The main thing I care about is if my music's getting better, if I'm
Yeah.
actually being a better artist. That's the main thing to me. I don't care if my presence
Yeah, same.
is all
Great.
that. It's just about I'm actually getting better at my craft. Because if this is like my life, this is what I really want to do in my life. I need to be good at it. I don't care if there's like another 100 people that follow me just because of what I said last week in a post, just because I went viral or some shit.
Yeah.
I want to be like the catalogue of music that I build up. I want it to be
speak for itself.
exactly.
No, that's
exactly.
that's spot on.
The thing for me is like, I see the value of it because I've always been into marketing. Like I've worked in marketing before and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've always been into. I see the value of having an audience
See
and
the
having
value.
an engage, like the way to engage. But for me, I just don't. Like, I don't know what to say. Like for me, if I've got nothing to say, I'm not going to say anything. So I'm not going to post a selfie of myself like that.
I'm too lazy to do that as well.
Yeah.
Like I honestly,
Another part of it as well.
my normal life is fucking boring.
Half the time I'm typing or just having a phone call with someone. Like it's not.
I'll walk a dog. I'll just eat some. That's it. That's me.
It's fuck all to do around here though, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's part
That's
of
the
the
thing.
thing.
You know what I mean?
It's fuck all to do.
And I think so. What we're trying to do is come from I think I've just thought we need a second angle of like a more business approach for the content wise, because we need our concentration needs to be on GSD is like our brand that we're trying to build. So we have got an Instagram account for that, and I think that'll be like mainly where we try and build the influence because it'll be an organisation.
So you are trying the social media side.
Yeah, yeah. So rather than
It's not in our
yeah,
ourselves.
rather than our personal ones, I think we'll create.
I get
around
it.
the
So
business.
it's like your own platform, but not yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like a label organisation we're trying to create.
Yeah, I don't want I'm no interest in anybody knowing anything about me.
Yeah.
But I want them to know about my work. If you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean.
100%.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what
Hi,
I've done
I
on
had
my
pasta
website,
today.
I've stayed away on my website from doing any kind of writing because I hate even naming work. Like what do I name?
Yeah, well, we've got the if he's ever wanted to post work and stuff, we've got an Instagram, like the organisational Instagram and the YouTube as well. We've got the YouTube channel, GSD Hub. It stands for Get Shit Done at the moment.
I like it.
But when we, but it's formally registered as General Social Development because obviously you can't register profanities when you're registered as a business. So GSD, General Social Development, they'll just kind of encompass
Yeah,
our
exactly what we
goal.
wanna do, yeah.
So it is just, but yeah, if you wanted somewhere to put out that work, that's always an option that's there. Because if we want it to be a platform for creatives and any type of creative that wants to put out content.
What's fucking fascinating now is you guys have a massive output of work. You're doing a lot of stuff. Me and Peter are doing a lot of stuff, but me and Peter don't have social media. You guys don't sound like you're fond on social media. So is this something where you don't have it and you're doing more?
Yeah,
Is that
maybe because you're not as. I feel like when you're more disassociated from it.
do you know Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. He has social media. He sells out. He sells out every venue.
Yeah,
because they know the quality of his work.
Like you said, you want it to speak for itself, and I think it gets to the point. A lot of people say, no, you need to be doing this and this. You need more followers. But like, longevity is not followers. Followers can click unfollow quickly. True. Like it doesn't take. It takes don't mean anything. It takes 2 seconds for me to click unfollow on someone if I don't like him anymore. But what it doesn't take, it takes longer than 2 seconds for someone to say I don't like his music anymore.
Plus it's a total gamble if they can fucking see it because everyone like just likes everything.
Yeah,
it's like algorithms as well, like algorithms.
And some people follow that many accounts. Yeah, like, they follow like 2,000 people. So you really think that just because they follow you, your post is going to be seen?
Exactly. And like, there's all those algorithms that like they'll both show like sponsored posts or like posts that they think you're liking.
Yeah.
So your stuff might not even be seen.
Exactly. So it's just at the end of the day, it's like 100%. Yeah. So I just think, it just works speaks for itself at the end of the day. Like there's longevity in the fact that if you just keep working on your craft, obviously. It's you need an audience, but just if you've not got followers doesn't mean you've not got an audience.
That's like the first times me and Aaron were discussing in college. Like, we're not making like films necessarily or any kind of work that.
Sorry to interrupt you. When did you start doing?
Well, we met 2014 and we finished 2016. We didn't make anything serious till 2016.
Check out what the content is.
And then 2016, I went on like a rampage just doing short film after short film. Then 2018, I started doing a feature film, and then COVID killed it. I completed the film, it just couldn't get played. But because I'm a son of a bitch, I decided to make another film through COVID. So I don't know how I've done it, but I've done another one. So that doesn't mean
work rate.
There's
no social media.
That's what I mean, because it's a distraction, isn't it? Now, go on.
I was going to say all the like COVID shows that were going off. It's just a distraction. Like they want you to be mindless watching that rather than actually being proactive. And because when you're looking at social media, some of it's still inspiring, it's still thought provoking. Yeah. But it's provoking your thought while you sat there like a zombie looking at your screen. Yeah, and then by the time you've looked at another post, the thought's gone.
It removes all the personal aspect.
Exactly.
Like, you're just behind the screen, sort of looking at it. Oh, that's cool. And then you move on. You don't really think about it.
Yeah, and it was like I saw Top Gear yesterday. My flatmate was watching Top Gear.
Yeah.
And it's just an example. Like Jeremy Clarkson saw a bear shitting in the woods, right? And he was like, "Now I've seen everything." But I saw the video of that, so now I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's ruined that for me. Like if I ever see a bear shitting in the woods, it's not the first time I've seen it. So I've seen it on the screen, so it desensitizes, you know. Yeah. And then it's like you feel like you don't need to do everything.
Yeah, that's true.
You can see everything.
You've travelled the world. You've seen everything that you need to see, so you can do it from your screen. So why put work in? And I feel like that's what a lot of people think.
Do you think it's like an untalented thing though? Because like on TikTok, everybody's doing a video on TikTok. I'm sorry, but they're untalented.
Everyone's doing the same thing as everyone else. You said there's no personal aspect. No one's doing anything original.
No, they're not doing anything now.
It's actually lip syncing. People get famous off lip syncing.
Yeah.
I seen a video.
Everyone's made. Listen, if you're gonna get paid, people get paid. You know what I mean? If you're gonna get paid, and it's gonna work. It's gonna like sort out your life a little bit. Fair play, do your thing. But if you're coming off it thinking I'm sick,
don't value yourself off.
I mean, kill his winners.
Yeah. Lips can sing.
You know what I mean? I literally saw one, and it was, here's my post of your daily talent. And it was just this girl. She was a pretty girl, don't get me wrong, but it was just this girl lip syncing. Not even a song, it was a skit from something. And I just thought, what, that talent? And she had, I think it was like 4 million likes. Like
no, but you click on because they're attractive, I'm not going to lie.
Exactly. And then I saw caption your daily talent, and there was no talent. It was just lip syncing. And sex appeal and 10 million views. That's all it was. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, no, but I watched a girl last night, and all the video was just her winking in the camera, and it had like.
If she was ugly, it wouldn't have gotten many views, and you wouldn't be watching it if she were fucking ugly. That's as simple as that. Yeah,
yeah.
50 million views.
But don't you think people have?
The other thing is, we're making like 5 seconds, so you can't click. By the time it's done, you're like, fuck, I wish I didn't even click.
That's registered as a view. That's I'm part of it.
You've got the engagement. Yeah.
But don't you think people just don't understand what it? Because like people think I live like a crazy life. People think I'm like at cocktail events talking to filmmakers, or I'm like living up, but I'm not. I'm like in the sticks, if you know what I mean. So don't you think people just don't know what we're doing is?
Oh, they have no idea. People don't know what's actually happening behind the scenes. Because obviously, like we were saying, we don't post on social media, so they don't really see behind the curtain really.
and people think they see like
It's glamorous. Like writing songs and making music is one of the hardest and most boring things in the world.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
how many
tedious.
times I've been sat behind my laptop thinking, this is a terrible beat, this is horrible, why am I doing this? I can't make music. Why, like, after, the amount of times I've said to
day.
these, the amount of times I've said to these, I'm like, I'm done, like, all this sort of stuff. And then I'll send something to these and they'll make a banger out of it. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I make music.
No, but every night I go to sleep, I'm like, right, what am I actually doing in my life? Like, it's just gonna.
the question.
Yeah. But that's, I think that's healthy, isn't it? Because you don't want an ego, do you? Like
you've
you.
got to have anxiety. You've got to have some form of anxiety in your head because you've got to worry about how you're going to succeed, how you're going to move forward, and what you're going to be doing to work towards that.
I'm going to say fear is the greatest motivator.
Yeah, because it shows that you care. Like
Exactly.
if you're not worried or got the anxiety about what you're trying to create, you're not fucking bothered. You don't care. You're not bothered about what the outcome might be. If you know what I mean. If you don't,
it's like we're going to make our tunes. Like I'm going to have a smile on my face while I'm doing it. So what's the matter? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, me and Aaron, every time we work on a project, like even this, like, there'll be a hiccup and we're like, well, so that happens, that's
But
it'd be worrying if nothing.
But we're sort of obsessed as well, because we're like, all last night I was thinking, right, is the camera in the right place? Is it? I'm not thinking about how like good I am. I'm thinking how good the actual thing is, if you know what I mean.
Worried about the quality.
Yeah.
Well, we've said about the production of the songs, and how well the sound. We're taking out like the ego out of it, or like us.
Yeah.
And we're just literally analysing the song like, right, this sounds well.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that we want to get across to people is like the tune sounding well, because there's nothing worse. Like how many times I bet everyone's gone through it, where they've heard a song and like it's been such bad quality that you don't even give it the time of day. It could be the best song that you've ever listened to in your entire life, but because they've recorded it so badly, and so the quality is so bad.
Some of my early stuff.
Well, just for example, like not in a noble way, but like I can pretty much guarantee that you'd want to probably redo them in some capacity. Exactly, because the quality does matter.
To be fair, you've got some bangers that need redoing. Because he's got some bangers
That call me, that don't need to get done. I've got on my Spotify, I listen to that pretty much every day.
Like earlier stuff, like
GVH. Oh, what a banger.
Well, Aaron was saying he wanted to go back and re-edit some of his college films.
Yeah, can you do that now? Can I physically go back and re-edit my
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, if you've grown and you've got a piece of work that you're proud of and you know you can improve, why not?
I guess.
What, like we said earlier, what are the rules? There is no rules. The more rules that you stick by, the less creative and less emotional.
But there's like a bit of a history I like now. How like I like how my early work isn't that good, and then it gets better, and then it gets cocky now. It gets good.
Yeah,
I quite like that as well now.
The progress.
Yeah.
Be proud, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of everything I do, but I just want to keep doing better and looking for new ideas.
Yeah,
Like, I'm never happy.
Do you want to
Do you
do
want
George Lucas now, on CGI stuff like that?
Yeah, fuck me. Are you looking for the beers?
Do you want one?
Yes, please. Did you see me reach down earlier?
No, that'd be nice.
You guys were talking, and I was trying to reach down. There's no beers there, and I was like, okay, I'll be serious again.
Nice one, bro.
Do you think the sound on this is going to be alright, or do you think we're going to struggle with this? We'll see. Now just worry about the windows open, and then there's like lots of banging on the desk, and then
that's me. That I get a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end
Cheers.
of the day, people care, they'll listen.
No, but the thing is, we're trying to create like a real thing as well.
Yeah, man.
Like we want it to be like.
Yeah, this isn't just like this week and then we're done.
It's nice. I feel very comfortable as well. It's nice.
I said the exact same thing to him.
Yeah,
It's a cool vibe, a cool environment.
Yeah, it's the space. The space is nice. Like it's a little bit cluttered, so you don't feel like you've got to be very like sat.
Yeah, you
I
can
feel
look
so
around.
comfy. I think that's the main thing.
So I said I could live here.
Yeah,
So just stick me a mattress in that fucking corner.
Well, no,
like, I swear to God, I'll be perfectly fine here.
We were joking that we might actually sleep
Like,
over.
well, no,
get some sleep.
Yeah.
We're getting quite addicted to this, aren't we? Like, because this is like weird. Because you live your normal life, and now we're doing like a podcast, and you got to break your day.
Yeah.
And it's like when we film, it's like we're living a normal life, and then all of a sudden, it's like right now we're trying to pretend to do something.
Yeah, that's what it's like when we do the music videos.
Yeah.
Or like even coming here, like I know I'm gonna leave here so gassed. I'm gonna leave
Yeah,
here.
yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're hyped, aren't you? And then you go back home and you're trying to like, or your family or whoever you're dating, you're trying to be like chill, so you don't sound like over the top to them.
Well, you don't want to overhype yourself on like other people, do you?
Yeah.
You'll go back. I
make yourself look like an idiot.
Alright, I've got a great idea. I'll tell Aaron or something. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna do that. 'Cause I just told him.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I got to like get started on it before I tell anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
If I start telling Aaron an idea, I'm like, he knows I'm not gonna do it.
That's it.
It's got
Like
Just gotta
I
do
don't know.
it.
Speaking the idea before you even started on it, like that's like death for me.
Because you've kind of done it.
Yeah.
Once you've said it, you've envisioned it,
Yeah.
and you've put it out there into the world. So technically, that thought, what you exists, it exists in this space, right? But if you shut up about it and just shut up and do it, and then you'll have the content behind it, it literally physically does exist. Do you know what I mean?
But-
no, I get that. That's a good idea. Just don't talk about what you're
But can you
doing.
actually even
Do
explain
it.
an idea? I suck at explaining my own ideas to people. It's like, because I feel like my ideas are there's a lot to it. And I always say like, oh, it's like this, and then I'm
I'm on the other side of this where he won't tell me what we're filming, and then I'm like holding a camera, I'm like,
what are you actually
and then
doing?
2 years later, it's like in 3 different films. I'm like, wow, so that, oh, I remember that. I don't. Well, I have seen all your stuff now, but up until like maybe 2 months ago, I hadn't seen all those films, if any of them, really.
Yeah, it's weird now because like I'm not like there's like the me who's filmmaking, and then there's a me who's not, and they're two different people.
No,
they're
I get
they're
that.
not the same.
I feel quite lucky with how I feel like I'm quite good at communicating my ideas.
Yeah.
When I've got like something, because I'm a bit like OCD. These can probably tell you that I'm a bit OCD with like my.
He's the worst one recording. So when we're recording, so the process is, well, we'll go to Lewis's when we've got the demo, not demos, but like the tracks.
Yeah.
We'll go to Lewis's, have a vibe, record like a demo track of it,
Yeah.
and then go to David's and he'll, because he's got a better mic, and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we're at Lewis's, he's like, nah, do that again, nah, I can do it better, nah, I can do it better. I mean, him, and just like,
Oh, bro.
right, record.
It takes a
Do
lot.
you know what I mean?
to
It's like
to get
20
to the finished article.
Yeah.
It takes a few takes.
Yeah.
And it's like the glamorous thing that you were saying earlier that people don't understand is like literally
Oh,
recording
it's
music,
boring.
making music. It's tiring, it's boring, and it does your fucking head.
That's what I mean.
Like, it does your
I
fucking
piss
head.
these two off so much.
No, but you
like,
gotta.
But the
like,
good side
it's
of
a
that,
good piss off.
the good side of it is like when it comes to like if we've got something to do formally like an event or like something to organise, like I'm very like OCD and
Yeah,
I'll get it all like step by step put out, and then I'll.
But the people always stick to that now because
He's pretty good at planning, to be fair.
Because I'm like I'm like that as well. I'm really precise. I want it this way. I want it that way. But when I come to approach that person, I always feel like I've buried them in information.
No,
and they're not.
I do that all the time. I'll just
A wealth of information at once, and they expect us to remember it for like 4 weeks.
But the work's got to get done though. Like, I feel like it's got to be said because then people don't know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
And
make
I
any
think-
progress, and like we can take it on. But like, even if it's like coming in a stern way, it's gonna get taken out. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna work on it.
And
And
there's
I
like
think,
no egos, like none, especially between those three. Like it's quite cool because we're all like literally on the same wavelength. There's no egos that get
I mean, it's
hurt.
not nothing
If
personal,
any of us
is
say, oh no, that needs to get changed, we're like, right, we understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
feedback's
Like,
not personal.
yeah,
is
it's
it?
not.
At the end of the day, it's I don't like saying it, but it's business. Like it's,
Yeah, man.
we're working towards a
Yeah.
common goal.
No.
So we understand that criticism needs to be taken on as long as it's constructive.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about putting a plan in place is you can put the most specific plan in place you want, but it's never going to go that
No,
way.
it's not.
But you need to understand, like, when you're putting that plan in place, make each objective adaptive.
Yeah.
So if your objective is adaptive, that means if something don't go to plan, then the next
That's what you were
objective,
saying.
yeah, you know that, like, even if it didn't go to plan, you know that you're still working towards that goal. So
Yeah.
rather than saying, I'm going to do this and this and this to meet the goal, you say what goals you've got, think of all the different ways you can meet it, and depending what happens, just navigate the
Wave
path.
along it. And go up.
Yeah, wing it. Like, wing it.
Yeah,
as, long
literally.
as long as you've got the right information
Yeah, yeah.
and you know where you want to go, wing it. Like, how do birds get A to B? They fly, so wing it. Do you know what I
Because we
mean?
were saying,
Write that down.
I do need to.
we were saying like if you write down too like I don't know if you're too structured, do you know what I mean? You're not getting the life out of it. Do you know what I mean?
That's
you're
true.
Not getting your emotion. You're
we-
not getting your.
I like sloppy films, so I like bits of films where they're not edited perfectly,
Yeah.
just because they feel more vibrant and real.
I'm the exact same with like sound.
You want
I
your-
like when sound's very raw, like
Yeah.
freestyle. Sorry, Karen.
No, that's it. That's all I've got on that. But yeah.
No, I agree. I think rawness shows that when something's very raw and like not low quality, but it's not like edited. It's not fancy.
Like over edited.
Yeah, I feel like it shows passion. Like the
Like-
reason I got into rap was freestyles. Like just watching people like spit bars off the top of their head, and you can see that because the
hunger.
words are coming from nowhere, so they mean what they say every time.
Yeah.
Like freestyles are so
Personal.
like you can see the passion,
Yeah.
and anything like rawness, I think equals passion because rawness shows that the equipment's not there, the production might not be there, but they want to do it and they need it, and that's why.
But don't you think that like those early starts are the best now? It's like if you look at any rapper, their early stuff where they're like spitting in the park is it's sometimes better than the actual stuff. Have you seen like Biggie's like early stuff where he's spitting on the street?
Yes.
Like you can just hear that voice booming over it, like because he does like a rap like battle with somebody else, and this guy is like a
It's a vibe, isn't it?
yeah. That's what I mean.
True.
He's-
Oh man, it's
That is
belly
true.
and-
You know what you just said then, because the lyrics come from nowhere, but they all come from somewhere, right? Because if he didn't experience them things, then lyrics would not be coming out of his mouth because he hasn't experienced them. So everything that comes out of his mouth, all stories, and that's the best thing about freestyle because it's all life.
There are some guys out there where they've not experienced anything.
Yeah,
And they will freestyle some bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean like the line about how gangster they are?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
something,
But
yeah.
a lot of guys out there that have seen it. They may have seen it, but they have not.
And do you know what frustrates me with stuff like that, right? I think if someone can sit there and create a story. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
If someone can sit there and like create a story and like put all this effort into creating something that's so fake, imagine if they put that same effort
Real shit.
into
Yeah.
real stuff.
Your real life is the most interesting.
Exactly.
It is.
We do this all the time. Like
Yeah, we talk
we
about
always
this all
we
the
have the
time.
same point. But, like yeah, so if they put that same effort into being real, imagine the things they could create. Or even if they said that they was acting and just wrote stories
Yeah.
instead of just chatting shit and acting gangster. Like there's no longevity in that because. Yeah, because I'm not being funny about it, but at some point someone's gonna call you out. Someone's gonna want to scrap, or someone's gonna want someone's saying
Live up to them lyrics, bro.
Yeah,
Live
you're
up.
gangster. You're gangster. And what?
Where's your
That's
super
why I
soaker?
would-
Where's your super soaker?
That's why I
Like-
would never. I
Like,
would never do
like the
that.
person who lies about smoking weed, and then you meet them and you're like, oh, you smoke weed, and like,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
take it
sure,
back and
yeah. like Elon Musk on the Joe Rogan podcast, when he just like,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. To be fair though, I reckon he took like a quarter of a drag.
no, he
A
couldn't.
quarter.
No, he couldn't. To be fair, though, could he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. Grip the label.
This is apple juice.
like you two know Little Techie, don't you?
I
The artist.
I don't really listen to him
No,
like
but
that,
like you
I
know
don't
who he
like
is,
it.
right? He's
Yeah.
like a 17, 18-year-old lad. He's a very young lad in like the
Yeah.
rap game, right? And he comes out and says all my lyrics are lies.
To you?
No, he's
Oh,
famous rapper. He's like all my lyrics are lies.
Yeah,
Like
don't put that
he
down.
talks about his ops and like how he's got guns and like all this and that, and he's like all these are lies.
But the thing
he's
is,
like these are all lies.
He's transparent about it.
Yeah,
and that's the difference.
because it shows that he's more real. The fact that he's transparent about it, it's like, oh,
Well, yeah.
you tip your hat off to him, like, oh, fair play.
Because
bro.
I like touch subjects in my film that I don't know anything about, but I feel I know enough about to try it. But I would never go and like be like it, because the film I showed you guys obviously about suicide.
Yeah.
I know enough about it because I think everybody said that they were like, all right, I don't want to be here anymore. I mean, everybody's had that, so that's as much as I know about suicide. I wouldn't try and like tell anybody I'm a suicide activist or anything like that.
I know what you're
Well,
saying.
you understand it more by doing that stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
You're right.
And
You make it to sort of understand it more.
And the thing I think with film, like,
Film is.
He was
different
about
to
to say the
music.
same thing.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
music is just like you're giving out a message from from yourself. Like from film, you're recording a message. You're like it's documentation of things.
Stories
Like,
are
film's
different.
Film's still from you, and like it's your inspiration. But I feel like with the artist, with not an artist, sorry, with a musician or a rapper, like they're making a brand out of their image.
Yeah.
So like the difference is like you as a filmmaker, you're telling stories about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that have touched you, but you might have learned from someone else, or you might have heard a conversation and thought, I'm going to make a film about that.
Yeah.
But whereas a rapper is saying, this is who I am, like I am this, and they're branding
But
themselves.
I'm trying to break that, because the next film I'm doing, it's got no structure whatsoever. I filmed it in different styles and stuff like, because there's a like line of like, all right, this guy's just trying to be pretentious and he's messing with styles. But I'm trying to actually make a film where it is like, it's going to be like fiction and reality. So you're going to have like the real me, and you're going to have me playing like a fake version of myself.
I like that.
And then you're going to have like,
Reality is like,
yeah. But the thing is, I've started editing now. It's nearly complete, and the interesting thing is, it all blurs together. It's like what is the reality and what's not.
Trying to work out what's real, and I think that's really good because I think it might help show how easy it is to fake stuff. Because I think a lot of people that aren't in this kind of creative space don't actually realise how fake some of the stuff is.
All at face value,
Yeah, I've spoke to people and they said like, they know Central C, the rapper Central C.
Yeah.
Like people said, oh, he blew up in like a week, didn't he, or like in like a year? I'm like, no, like he was doing auto tune, he was doing freestyles years ago, and these men will make out, they'll delete all their songs, put one song on SoundCloud and YouTube.
That's true.
They'll make out, oh, this is my first tune, and they've got 4
We know a
million.
band who keeps doing that.
Yeah.
What, deleted all the songs and making the most recent single be the first single?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
This is the first song we've ever made.
The band we were on about have been together for like 3-4 years now.
Yeah,
I've not
longer.
released the first single about
Longer.
6 times, yeah?
Yeah.
I know plenty of
and
people
that's what
like
I mean. So they just sort of say, oh yeah, this is my first one, and then they get famous, and everyone's like, oh look, they blew up straight away. They didn't even make effort, and then it disheartens people. Like it doesn't dishearten us personally, but I mean people like us. It disheartens us because we think, they've done that so quickly, and I'm still waiting.
It's not overnight, is it? Like people look at my new work. People look at my new work and be like, how have you got this far? And like you gotta check the shit I've done.
Yeah.
Like it goes deeper.
I've been right.
And like people maybe even glorify that a little bit too much, where it's like you don't want it overnight because then you have to fucking keep it up.
Yeah.
You've got to follow that.
I've been
Like,
right.
Slow builds are the best because then you pick up people.
You build that. We speak about this all the time. You build that foundation. don't you?
But I did
Brick by brick.
something pretty good. Like it doesn't happen overnight, but when it happens overnight.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight, but when it does happen overnight.
Yeah, and the thing is like, I've been right. I was freestyling, slapping on park bench at like 13 years old. Do you know what I mean? 13 years old. So I'm what? I'm 22 now. So it's took me. I was 20 when I started actually 19, 20 when I started taking it seriously, and that's because.
But is that because like a background, or is that just like?
Well, it was a lot of things. Like obviously life happens, innit? And and then I wasn't really like with people as hungry like with you two. So it's a case of only just like 20 taking it seriously.
Yeah.
You're just perfecting your craft because I didn't feel I was ready, and I was perfecting it, and it's been years. So even if the music blew up when we released this album, I don't think. Probably not like that, but when say if it did, just in a fantasy world, say like overnight, in a fantasy world. But what I mean is, like, say in a fantasy world, we release this album overnight, like it gets 10 million views. Like there's still been so much work before that. Either way, do you know what I mean? Either way, we've put this process has been since September, the last one. I think what was it?
There's been a lot of chapters. Well, I said to him earlier, like when I sent you the first Atlas tune, which is one song on the album, it was the first song that we ever did together.
Yeah.
And that got done like a year ago, and that's just one chapter.
Well, that was
like,
even before. That was before our first project.
That's what I'm saying.
That was before we did anything together.
Yeah, it's like chapters, and like they've had their chapters before. Like I even got myself involved, and it's cool to see.
But don't you think this is it? This is part of the fucking success.
Yeah,
I mean, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
this is it. Like
I'm so glad that I wasn't in part of it, and I've become part of it because my knowledge and their knowledge from the fact that they've released a project before me, and then I've done my shit before them.
I was gonna say,
it all,
you know what?
It's all just fucking.
What
like
he's
a washing
probably not
machine
spoke
shit.
about is the fact that when I was growing up with Cameron, like before I'd even started freestyling or rapping, like David was doing David was taking photos on train tracks and David.
I told you like being in like hardcore bands,
this man's
metal
been doing it
bands
for
and
ages.
shit
He's an
like
OG. Like he's been doing it. Honestly. Yeah,
I've been around.
But like, I remember Cameron showing me like photos, even me thinking that's sick, as if he's like going out and doing it himself.
Yeah.
So that's one of the early inspirations, like seeing someone so local, literally my mate's bigger brother, doing like music and that, and being like, oh, as if like he can do it. Look how that photo looks professional as out, like as if. And then that's one of them seeds that plant in your head and think, oh, maybe I can do this, and then you see more. I think
that's exactly, honestly, in COVID, I'm sat in my room and I was fantasizing about having a podcast. I was like, oh, I want to get a podcast. This is what I mean.
Yeah,
and then it's like gone from there. It's gone from there to now, and there's something about that dream. What's like, go on then. What's like, it's not unattainable. It's just having it in your head, isn't it?
It's not, and exactly. And it's having that common goal, man. Like we need to, like people realise it's collaborative.
I'll put like 3 on. Do you want one?
I'm good, thank you.
You want another one?
Do you smoke? No.
I'm a good one.
What's a loser? I'm joking. So joking. I won't be laughing when I've got lung cancer before.
We'll come visit.
Who's a loser now?
We'll come visit you in hospital.
Nurses are taking me out. What the fuck's wrong with you? You don't understand. You call me a loser.
But yeah, like I just think it's beautiful what's happening.
No, but it is just something, isn't it? Now.
Yeah, it is. Like even our conversation we had on text, like we were end up sending like paragraphs, and every time I send a text, I get this thing and it says dismiss. It says dismiss, and I have to like click this thing off every time I send a text.
I got my text muted. Because I'll get people like just listening with stuff. Like there's been a lot of scams about, hasn't there? So it's just like every day there'll be like a text. I think it's important, not. So I've just muted my text now.
But literally, like I have to press a dismiss thing. So I was sending one text, and it was like this long, and I have to press dismiss about 200 times because my phone thinks I'm sending 20 texts. But we were having like such a good conversation.
Oh yeah, it's like it converts into multimedia, doesn't it? Yeah.
So just conversations that we had about how you two got together, how all this started. Like,
Hope you said nice things about me.
no, he did. But
He did on mine, by the way.
but we
the three Davids now. I've got to.
the three Davids, David,
And nobody gave me a.
many Davids around. I don't know why.
You know what, right? I've never in my entire life, up until fucking meeting you, like, has met as many Davids in my entire life. Since I've met him, I've met like another David on top of him, and now there's another David here, and it's like, what?
Do you know what I've saved you as in my phone? David Beats.
David B.
There's David Marketing, David Beats, and David Raps.
David Raps.
And you've introduced me to something called Ben, right? And that's quite close to Dave, though, isn't it? It's like it's still like that same sort of pattern, like David, Ben.
David. What else is there? Ben, David, David.
Ben's actually, quite a lot of Ben's.
Oh, you're the same age, or?
Yeah, so I think.
I'm in the same year as you.
Yeah, we were in the same school year. You're a couple
Me,
years above.
I'll do.
22.
I'll do.
21, 22 next month, bro.
Fuck.
I'm 3 years older.
What?
So you're-
What about you?
I'm 24, nearly 25.
I can't tell by all the grey hairs that I've got.
Absolutely,
5'10".
absolutely terrified. Not gonna lie. Cause no, but I feel like when I'm 25, I forgot to have done something. Like,
It's alright,
No,
you'll get other ones to kill
You
yourself
got
too.
Well, what? So we got 75 years till we turn 100. Yeah.
I mean,
What, you think we're all going to turn up? The conversation being having.
I'm done at 50.
Me and him said earlier, like, we're done at 50.
Yeah, we are young. We are young, though.
No,
We're young,
actually,
bro.
I will be done at 50. My family history.
This is what we said, wasn't it? You were like, oh no, I've got like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, everybody dies at 20 of my fucking cancer.
I'm lucky,
like,
but
do you know what I
all
mean?
my family were health freaks.
I've
good.
outlived everybody.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. The genetics are sound, so I can drink. I'll see you at 100. But yeah, like we're young, bro. Like we've got so much time, and I think this is another thing. There's so much hype now around these young millionaires, these young entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like people aren't getting rich. People aren't getting millions at 20. No matter what the fuck we tell you, they're not getting millions at 20.
They're lying, aren't they?
There's obviously the exception. Obviously, there's the exceptional, successful person that gets that. But these guys that are telling you, get rich quick, I can make $500 a day from crypto and trading. No, you can't. Like, I'm not being... You might make $500 one day, but lose $1,000 the next day because you're being risky as hell. $2,000 the day after that, and then another 500 quid, and then after, it just gets worse. And there's this fixation with the fact that entrepreneurs can't be younger than 25, 30. But...
No, they can.
Do you know what I mean?
They can.
But obviously they can.
Yeah.
So people
No,
think that
no,
once
no,
you get
no.
25 or 30, you need to create this business.
No.
Nah. Like we're young, like so young.
It takes time, doesn't it?
Takes
It's
so much
like
time.
5-10 years. Like,
So much time and effort and building.
It's like I was saying to you earlier, like, I've been making music for like 10 years. Like, and only now I've really started to see like a proper payoff.
No,
of it.
same.
All the bands and everything that I've been in, like, up until literally I met these, I'd give myself like a fucking 2 out of 10. And that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like now,
Do you still think there's bare room to grow? Like, even though we're doing, even
Oh,
though
yeah.
we believe in what we're doing, like,
Yeah,
100%.
right now, there's so much room to
100%,
grow.
like-
We are.
well, the thing is, like, for the way that I feel about the shit that we're doing now, and the fact
Exactly,
that
yeah.
the shit that we're pumping out now is pretty much 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, of course.
I'm excited to see the next level because the next level is going to be topping this. And if what we're doing now, is as good as it is.
You just sent towards the next list.
Do you know what I mean? It's
That one I
like
showed earlier. Oh my.
it's like
We've already got the singles.
it's like Juice, for example. Like seriously, like that song I showed you earlier is one of my favourite songs. Like just songs in general, like not of ours, just in general. That I will listen to that song so many times per day, just because. Like we've said before, and even he said, right, before I even said anything to him, he's like, I can't think of anything that it sounds like.
This is what we say.
How many people have said that?
I honestly
How many people
thought
have said
when I first heard it, I was like, right, this is gonna go to like a Post Malone sort of vibe, but it changed.
Yeah,
It wasn't at all like that.
Definitely, I think we'll show some more after this. It's so different, and I think the main thing is you've got different like inspiration. We've got similar but slightly different like sides of inspirations, and I think that's the beautiful thing.
That's why it's worked so well.
Exactly, because like we were saying earlier, our first project was a bit generic. Like it was generic British rap kind of stuff.
We still did our own thing.
Yeah, we did our own thing, but it was a bit generic. We used YouTube beats, we used this and that, and it was good. We put work into it, and it was great, but it wasn't 100% us. It was just kind of what we could do at the time. And then when David came in and put so much work in, we definitely appreciate everything that he's done, because so much work has gone into this album from David's side especially, and our side, but from just creating the beats, that's a lot of work. And the inspiration, like the influences that you have, the inspirations you have are so different that it's...
Well, that's a good thing. We can also like learn from each other.
Exactly.
Like we're all into different like artists, and I'm into like me and Peter into different filmmakers, and we can both come together with our ideas and be like, because we've seen one thing and like because I've got like all my favorite filmmakers backed up in my head. So when I go to shoot something, I'll shoot something I don't even know I've got like that aesthetic in my brain.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Who's your favourite film?
Well, this is the thing. It's changed. When I was like younger, it was like a Kubrick. I was like, that's my guy.
Kubrick's a boy, I like.
I was obsessed with him. And then as I got older, I realised because this guy called Andrew Cotton, I suppose the one you about. Andrew Cotton. He's.
What did he do?
He makes like.
It sounds familiar.
He makes real. So basically, I'm doing like reality and fiction combined, but the more like art installations, the more reach into the human condition.
Yeah.
And they're a lot easier to finance as well because they're cheaper production, like a Kubrick film. But that became he became my boy now.
Yeah,
Like, you know, as I got older, I realised, okay, I'm not going to be a fucking Hollywood director. Like,
why not though?
When I wouldn't want to be.
It's going to be a South Yorkshire director.
What would you?
Because this is where it's going to be.
Like, I get what you're saying, but why wouldn't you want to be like a Hollywood director where you've got the big budget and you can make these grand ideas come to life, like a Stanley Kubrick?
Kind of price though, doesn't it?
But
It's a different kind of price.
yeah, I want to keep it. I'm fascinated by people. I want to keep it about the art, really.
Yeah.
Like about the making of it. I'm not saying I wouldn't ever make a film about. Obviously, I was given a chance. Of course, I'd be like, I would think about it.
But do you not think you can make stuff that's about the art at that level? Because this is something we speak about, and I think one of the problems in the creative scene, or here especially from what we've seen, is the fact that people are scared of making money, scared of profit. And I think, imagine if we had institutions like what they've got in Hollywood, but in Doncaster, like that weren't going to try and take your creativity away, that weren't going to try and change your image at all. They were just ready to give you some money to create something. And if we had that here, so much could happen. But the problem is that they want to give you money, but they want to change what you do creatively.
Yeah.
But imagine if this is why we talk about always Doncaster becoming self-sufficient, and the scene itself starting to do things to make a bit of money, and then we don't have to ask London, we don't have to ask down south.
That's what I'm saying. We've got to produce our own stuff and prove we can do it, and then the money's gonna be.
This project it means so much to us because it was all us all doing our own thing. That's why it's.
And it's like when I said to you, like we haven't stepped foot in your studio for this album, and then that's kind of what it's not built around, but like it just shows you that you can make quality shit without having to go down these commercial avenues where you have to go to a studio, or you have to have all the best actors, or you know, like especially your sort of way, where you wanted to make these artistic differently.
But that's the thing. I don't want the best actors now. I don't really rate the best actors. I think no, seriously. I think it's like the people up below got a real hunger in the stomach, and like
passion.
Well, that goes back to like the first album thing.
Yeah.
Because it's the first album, because you've got that raw stuff, you haven't got the constraints to know that you've got an album deal where you have to pump out a banger. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's all just natural shit.
Yeah.
That's it. Like
That's why all our first
But
album is generally better.
I don't want filmmaking just to be like a story anymore.
yeah.
I want it to be so much more. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, I don't want to just make a Hollywood film and it's a story that ends from Act 1 to Act 3.
Yeah,
I want, there's got to be more we can do with the medium.
Definitely.
No,
yeah,
that's
so
what
it's
I'm
very
thinking.
structured in it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've got to do it in a certain way. Like even though there's like variations of like the genres and all that stuff, it's always in a certain.
Yeah, it's boring.
Itself.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Do you like
People
Black
say-
Mirror?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but people get.
You've never seen Black Mirror?
No,
You've
people-
not seen an episode?
No.
Oh my.
Oh,
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen some episodes.
Oh, I
I've not
genuinely,
seen it.
I genuinely cannot believe if you're like a film guy or like director sort of stuff, you have not seen Black Mirror.
I know
Seriously,
about it. I know about it.
They are. Watch them seriously. I'm not going to say anything more. Get home tonight. Watch them. They're all on Netflix. Every single episode. The ace.
I've.
You just don't tell them to watch it because they'll never watch it.
I never watch it. I never. You want.
Someone says watch this. I'm like no.
No. Yeah. It means don't watch
Ego
it.
comes down. It's not like, just a quick plug. Tell me that.
If mention it offhand in 3 years when he brings, oh, Peter, have you seen this? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you
Tell
4
that.
years ago, mate. Yeah.
Just a quick plug as well. The album's called Northern Lights and it's out on June the 11th. So June the 11th, Northern Lights.
No, seriously,
by
we should
JXG.
talk about it for a minute. Like, go on.
Yeah.
No, that's all there is.
That's
really.
it.
We're
14
just
tracks.
14 tracks.
14 for an album.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
we
lot.
we decided we
Because
just
we
like,
did 7 on the first one. So
we
it's
just
like,
like,
Are you releasing it like, is that one album 14 tracks? It's not like it'll be a special album 14
No,
tracks.
no,
or
no,
like,
no.
14
14
album,
standard.
14 tracks, and we've got a single coming out which is called Impress, and that's on the 21st of this month.
Yeah.
So we've got a video coming out of that, which we filmed before we met you two for the first time. Literally like 5
Literally,
minutes before
yeah.
that, we literally finished videoing that and then kept
Yeah, I remember you saying.
it's on film. So, yeah, that's the 21st of this month and
album,
Yeah.
what, 11th?
11th of June.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
we
coming.
we
We're
wanted
taking
we
it
wanted out-
worldwide.
We wanted
Worldwide.
We wanted it out in April, didn't we?
Yeah,
Last year was
like,
April.
beginning of the year,
April,
we're like-
April, you know.
And then that didn't work. So June the 11th it is, and yeah.
Alright, well, we have like it's a 5-minute chill down, so it's just like relax now. Like, this is like the outro bit now playing.
Oh yeah.
So just relax. We don't have to
The
feel.
lo-fi beat going over the
Yeah,
top.
we don't have to feel like the dead space anymore.
No,
That's
that's
fine.
fine. That's perfect.
I'd love that you look like that. That straight off the rip.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it just went in.
yeah. That's what.
So I said to him earlier, so we're recording. They were like, yeah, we're recording. I'm like,
How long has it even been? What time is it?
Right now.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Oh,
10
wow.
minutes.
It's not bad, that.
Fair play. Yeah, that was good. I felt so comfortable. Like,
Yeah, man, I was chilling.
yeah, man, I'm really happy with that. Yeah, fine. Cheers to that. Mate.
Yeah,
Cheers.
respect for that, bro.
good vibes.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm very. Where's the camera?
It just keeps going. On
Just
and
keeps
on.
going and keeps going.
Well, no, is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just outro now. It's
This
just-
is the outro. It's just chilling, and then we just like.
Did you not-
No, because don't you love it like when like there's like I always prefer I want to hear what they're talking about after.
Yeah.
I'm like never mind you guys acting like what you're actually really talking about.
Yeah, it's fine. You know when Joe Rogan podcast ends, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, thank you." What do they talk about after?
Yeah.
After they've been talking for like 2.5 hours,
Yeah,
like, what
saying,
the fuck
like,
is?
what's going on?
What have you got to say to each other after that?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man.
No, I get it.
And I like the fact that you just started, and it's not right. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Louis. Hi, David. This is the podcast. Yeah, this is the podcast.
I didn't even know that we started. It was like, cheers.
Yeah.
And then I clicked on that. Oh, let's
This
go.
is it.
I was like, right, let's
We
go.
were trying to convince Aaron to have an intro. Somewhere. Hello.
Yeah, but you could do like an intro yourself and then fade it into the podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be like, oh, right, so this I'm talking to Louis
Right,
and
now
David
it's the
today.
outro. I can have a cigarette as well.
Yeah.
Am I right to nick one?
Yeah.
Okay. My grandma's gonna walk.
No, but this is still on. This is still on. We're still going. This is still the outro.